Alright guys, so I'm in the city of Zhengding, which is in Hebei Province, not far outside of the capital of Shijiazhuang. It's famous for a number of things. It's a very historical city, and it's got one of the most famous temples anywhere in China, and best preserved temples. That's the Lingxiao Temple. However, in this video I will be showing you 4 of Zhengding's famous buildings. They are 4 different pagodas, all in very different styles, and they're all within about a 1.5-ish kilometer distance of each other. So we're going to do this on foot, walking through the hot streets, see what we can find. Let's go.
First built in the year 800 and rebuilt a couple of centuries later in the Jin Dynasty, the Hua Pagoda is the first on our list. As far as Chinese pagodas go, this is a very unusual design, clearly containing a lot of Indian influence. The pagoda is decorated with elephants, lions and sea creatures. The pagoda is 4 stories high, also very unusual for Chinese pagodas, which almost always have an odd number of stories. Perhaps the most unusual I've ever seen.
Right, on the way to the second pagoda, which is not hard to find. It's right in front of me. There it is. Let's go. So our second pagoda is the Chengling Pagoda in the Lingxiao Temple. It's just over there. It's an absolute beauty. Let's go and have a look.
The Chengling Pagoda was also constructed during the Jin Dynasty in the 1100s. It holds particular importance due to its location in the Lingxiao Temple, still an active and important monastery, due to it being one of the original centres of Chan or Zen Buddhism. This was one of my favourite spots in Zhengding.
This pagoda is also Jin Dynasty, so talking like a late 1100s. 33 meters high, so it's the shortest of the pagodas here in Zhengding. Intriguing. Right, heading north to the oldest pagoda in the city now. Sorry about the hat, it's 42 degrees. I'm kind of like a vampire, you know. Not in the sense that I drink blood, but in the sense that if I'm in the sunlight for too long, I burst into flames. It's an absolute scorcher. It's a heat wave here in northern China at the moment. This is the beginning of July, for whenever this video gets published. And it's had record temperatures. Beijing had its hottest days on record. Oh, it is hot. Hopefully I can finish these last 2 pagodas before I pass out. Tell you what, they've done a nice job with all these temple gardens in Zhengding. Beautiful.
This place is magic. The oldest of Zhengding's pagodas stands in a beautiful garden. Very typical of Tang Dynasty pagodas, the Xumi Pagoda is square-based, 9 stories tall and not elaborately decorated. I love it.
So this used to be Kaiyuan Temple. That temple's long gone, totally blown away, except for the pagoda, which does survive. The pagoda was built in 636 of the Common Era, which makes it Tang Dynasty. Not the oldest pagoda in China, but you know, certainly one of the oldest pagoda, by the way, I shall be visiting very soon.
Pagodas are to be walked around clockwise, with different numbers of laps achieving different things. Once around this pagoda is for family happiness, and 7 times around will help create universal harmony in the world. Well, that's what it says on the sign anyway.
I'm not going to film inside, obviously, but the old stonework is still looking beautiful. So the pagoda is called the Xumi Pagoda, which is named after a very famous Buddhist mountain, Mount Meru, I believe it's called in English. It's been there for almost 1400 years, and obviously the style, as you can see, it's very Tang Dynasty. Quite simple, basic, not like the more flowery, decorated later ones from the Song, Liao and Jin dynasties. I quite like that. I quite like the simplicity of it. It reminds me a lot of pagodas. You know, back where I live in Xi'an, we have a lot of Tang Dynasty pagodas there, given that it was the capital of the Tang Dynasty. And they are quite simple, quite elegant though. Lovely. So they dug this up from a street in here in Zhengding. It's like, obviously it would have had a stele on the back, as many of these things do. That is monstrously huge. It's called a Bishi. It's one of the 9 sons of the dragon. So I just filmed those people to give you an idea of how big it is. Hope they don't mind. I'm guessing these are fragments from the stele that's on that bad boy's back. Seriously huge. Kinda cool. I like weird stuff I don't expect. Did not expect to see that. The pavilion is in the style of a Tang Dynasty building. It says it's the only Tang Dynasty bell tower in existence in China, but I'm telling you right now, that's had a lot of work done, to the point that it is not a Tang Dynasty building. There are actually only 4 wooden buildings from the Tang Dynasty in all of China, and they're all in Hebei Province, and they're truly, you know, they're some of the oldest buildings made of wood anywhere in the world. There's 2 buildings, I believe, in Japan which predate them, and that's it. That's a nice building. But is it from the Tang Dynasty? I think it's kind of one of those, like in Only Fools and Horses, that scene where Trigger's talking about his broom that he's had for 20 years or something. He looks after it so well, but it's had like 10 new handles and 15 new heads. I think it's that kind of deal. Anyway, I shouldn't say that, I'll be quiet. All right, heading to our last pagoda in Zhengding on this very, very hot history tour. Hope you're enjoying it. Let's go. It's not far, about 500 meters maybe less. These are the cutest stone lines I've ever seen in my life. It says they're Yuan Dynasty. They're really unusual. I kind of want one. All right, in we go.
Our final pagoda is from the Song Dynasty in 1045. The Lingxiao Pagoda is 41 meters in height, and although it is locally called the Wooden Pagoda, the bottom 4 stories are actually made of brick and the top 5 are made of wood. As with all of these spots in Zhengding, I found it incredibly peaceful and not at all touristy.
I think between these 4 pagodas and the Longxing Temple, this town, Zhengding, really does have quite a lot to offer. It's worth visiting. If you're in like the Shijiazhuang area, yeah, don't miss it. It is good, especially if you like history. That is the end of the video today, however. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, please just drop me a message and I will get back to you. All the best. Take care and bye-bye.